Didn't I? Yeah. She was worried about making mistakes. I said, don't worry about it. I will handle all the mistakes. So she is the blue dino who always wears her diamond boots. She's also a creative storyline developer, one of the lead body actresses, and a creative set designer as well.
Hello.
And for another perspective, I have a fellow by the name of Sebastian, who is my son, who is 7 years old, who does a bit of YouTubing himself with me. I'm Roddy Rhino. He is Iron Ham. And so Sebastian will give you a little perspective from the 7-year-old's standpoint as well. So, all right. So I think to start off with, maybe we'll check in with Jag, and just maybe you could explain sort of what you do, what you're trying to do, and a little bit about how you do it, perhaps.
Okay, so like David said, I am the lead director of Jag's Crazy Adventures. It's a series that goes up every single day at 3:30 GMT time, and it's just about having fun and entertaining children all across the world, because we've had viewers from as far as New Zealand watching my videos, and I'm not gonna take all the credit. Without these guys and obviously the crew that work behind me. And they're just awesome, so I can't take all the credit. So I'd like to personally quickly just thank Fraser and obviously Squigs and Piper for all their hard work over the past 4 months. This series has been going on since the 1st of March this year. So it's kick-started. It's got into its stride, as it were. And we're just thoroughly enjoying it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll go on for a long time.
And there's a few JCA crew still hanging around out here too, isn't there? There's a few of you guys. Maybe you want to stand
guys,
up.
go on, stand up.
Stand up and maybe have a wave.
These guys are members of the team, build team and cast.
Because I didn't realize how much went into these. Like, I, as a parent, just assumed that it was just a kid in the basement playing. You're saying that there's 26 people involved in each one of these episodes.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
And you're coordinating that on a daily basis.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort to try and get 26 members to do what they're needed to do. They signed up voluntarily, so it's almost, I have to respect them in that way, but they signed up because they wanted to do something to help out. So they kind of have to kind of get into gear when they're not working, if it were.
It's a voluntary thing, though, so you're not forcing anybody to do it.
No, right. I'm not forcing.
Yet. I bet you there's a few arguments, though. If there's 26 people?
Yeah, 26 people. They're all different personalities, so there's going to be clashes at some point. But you know what? You tell them off and you say, get over it, and that's what happens, And we all go back to getting together. We all go back to getting along, and it's awesome.
I went straight for the dirt, basically. So, all right. So now you guys wanted to talk about other YouTubers and who they are, maybe their influence on you. And sort of what's sort of popular out there in your sphere right now. So who wants to deal with that? Fraser is up.
Right, so there are lots of YouTubers out there who your child has probably watched. I'm not sure if you might have heard of them, but they probably have. One of the most famous out there right now is Stampy, and Stampy is Joseph.
Who doesn't know Stampy? Is there anybody here who doesn't know who Stampy is?
Raise your hand if you watch Stampy. Or if you don't watch him, who knows him? There he goes, a lot of hands going up there. So he started YouTube back in 2006 on his original channel. He did that playing other games that weren't Minecraft, such as Halo and Call of Duty. But then he moved on to his channel that he has now in 2011, and that's where he started off with Minecraft doing educational videos. He has over 6 million subscribers and over 3.7 billion, that should be updated, but it's not, over 3.7 billion cumulative views, and he's out there educating your children with series like his Lovely World and with Wonder Quest. Yeah.
He's quite an inspiration to me. I met him, I went to the Cannes TV Festival, and he was talking about the YouTube side, and he was really getting, him and a number of other YouTubers were really concerning the sort of the established television group, because they were competing with television. Television's made for millions of dollars, and kids are preferring to watch this much cheaper content that's available, on YouTube. And he did a talk that really inspired me to jump into this stuff. That this was something that was gonna be the future for entertainment and for parenting basically. So yeah, so Stampy's a big one for me.
Moving on to Piper.
So another YouTuber is iBallisticSquid. Some people may know him from Stampy. He has 2.7 million subscribers, which is quite a lot. And he has many series such as Crazy Craft, ARK, Survival Evolved, and so a lot of mini games such as Build Battle and Death Run.
Raise your hand if you've heard of iBallisticSquid. There we go, a lot of hands gone up there as well.
Now, and did he start with Stampy? They were working together, yeah.
Yeah, they started together, and they've sort of they're still together essentially, but they've gone their separate ways and started their own channels, and they still work together, but it's just on a lesser scale.
Well, and as a parent, again, from my standpoint, what I love seeing here is this collaboration. It's like one guy will start something, he'll bring in a couple of friends, they'll go off and do their own thing again. And it's just this amazing community that I was unaware of. When I first got on YouTube, my assumption was you were just posting videos. And that's what I did. I would go on, I'd put up a video and go like, you know, I've got a little mirror happening here. So I would just go on and put stuff up and not realize that there's a whole community that surrounds this stuff. That there's a whole sort of friendship and collaboration that happens. And then this is a great example of these two guys who've done incredibly well by working together and sort of feeding off each other's audiences and stuff, and sharing audiences. Who's up next?
Okay, so I thought it was important to mention female YouTubers as well, because not only are there a load of big male YouTubers, but I think females are just as good and should also be mentioned too. So Nettie Plays is a YouTuber that I like to watch, and she does kid-friendly videos. She's got, well, currently now, that's a bit incorrect, she's got 166,000 subscribers, and she's got over 7.5 million views on her channel. So a lot of you may know her because she is Stampy's sister, but I think it's also important to know that she has her own channel, and she's not just somebody's sister that's famous. She is an individual as well who's doing great on YouTube, and she only started in 2014, and she's already one of, well, I think most people would know her in the sort of kid-friendly YouTube community. So yeah.
And you were saying, the thing that you touched on that I found really interesting was that you were saying that, like so many things, this seems to be initially quite a male-dominated field.
Yeah, I think when you think of gaming, most people would think of males, because I think it's just something that you think that a man would do. But now, obviously, it's becoming more like common for females to play games as well. As you can see around here, you'll see just as many women as men and just as many girls as boys, because yeah, I think it's sort of expanding to more females as well as male. And, even before, you would think, oh, men will play the games and or females will do the cleaning or something. But yeah, I think it's really good that now in this modern world, we've got an equal balance of genders.
And so, well, it was amazing because we were just chatting about this the other day, and you brought that up, and I was so excited to hear someone, you know, pardon my being the dinosaur, but as young as you, discussing this so openly and being so sort of aware of the situation, which is just great. Who's up next? Anyone else got something to add, or am I going to check with Sebastian to see who his guys are? All right, Sebastian, you're up. Who do you like? What YouTubers do you have that you like to watch?
Well, I mostly like ones who play fun, I like learning off of other players. Like Jaguar, I learned how to, Jags, I learned how to build Sky Wars, basically. I learned how to play it and build it.
So you like the ones that teach you how to use Minecraft?
I like Stampy, Squid, Diamond, Minecart.
Oh, right. Dan TDM is another one that's a big fan. We're big happy in our family about that, yeah.
Well, I like them because they do loads of fun things, and they don't stick on one game. They do loads of other games with them.
We don't talk about other games at MINECON. I'm just kidding. All right, well, so now have we covered our YouTubers? So basically, that just gives you an idea of sort of the guys, you know, in the field who are out there. Most of you guys know this, but I love, again, just the the amount of work that these guys have put into putting together this presentation and stuff, the interest in what they're doing, and the professionalism. Like, I work in the film and television industry. I guarantee you, most of the people I work with, they're just not as good at this kind of stuff as you guys are. So, you know, well done on that. The next question we have is basically, what is it about these videos? What is it that makes kids want to watch this all the time? We have every Friday night is movie night at our house. And I thought, what a great, fun thing to do. Every Friday, we'll get together, we'll watch a movie. And then one day, I had Avengers. I was like, I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my God, we got the Avengers. We're going to watch the Avengers tonight. And Sebastian's like, huh? And I was like, well, wait a second. If you don't want to watch movies, I'm not going to force you into movie night. And Sebastian's like, I'd rather watch YouTube. And that's when I suddenly went, oh my God, I'm a dinosaur. Like, I gotta get out of this film and television industry and get into the YouTube thing, because how do you compete? I mean, this is the stuff that these guys are watching all the time. So the question is, why? What is it that attracts people to this stuff?
Well,
Jag.
I think I'll take this one. Anyway, so YouTubers like to interact with their viewers. I mean, it wouldn't be a very good YouTube channel if there wasn't some sort of communication between the YouTube creator and himself or herself, like Squig said, and the viewer themselves. So that's why the comment section is often very active once a video's gone out from somebody like Netty, Stampy, Squid, those kind of guys. But interactivity is a huge part of YouTube videos. The communication between them kind of makes the video move along. So if a kid, say, liked a certain part of the video, then they'd say that in the comments section down below. And that would give the YouTuber some more motivation, as it were, to keep making these videos. I mean, in my personal opinion, I don't think Stampy would be where he is without his viewers. He wouldn't be the person he is today, the kind-hearted, warm, loving person he is without his viewers. And I just believe that interactivity between the YouTuber and the viewer just makes it for a better video, makes it for better quality.
Another way interactivity can be done is through the means of fan art. People are always sending in fan art to their favorite YouTubers, and then they're displayed on the episodes, such as in Stampy's Love Garden. A sign is placed down with the username of that person, and the fan art is also shown in the video. So that gives them excitement of anticipation as well, to see their fan art in the video, and as well as that, it also makes the YouTube creator feel appreciated as well. They love getting the fan art. Jag's got fan art as well. Jag puts it on his warrior wall. That's where it's just like Stampy's Love Garden. Signs go up and people say things in the comment section. They also send in their pictures. And some people have even sent in poems, which is quite cool.
We've had a couple of raps as well, which unfortunately I've had to perform on the videos.
I've been there, man. I've done some rapping too. Yeah.
And a great example of someone that has sent in fan art is, if we go on to the next slide, Marley Pixels has sent in these awesome fan arts of our characters. We just want to shout her out on Instagram. If you do want a request, I believe she's got requests open, so if you want something like this, just go over to Marley Pixels on Instagram and give her a direct message, and she could make you something as awesome as this. And it's absolutely amazing to see things like this sent into Jag's Crazy Adventures and other series like this. It's just amazing. I mean, how can people draw like this? I want to know.
And you guys all use these for your avatars and stuff, don't you?
Yeah. On Twitter and on YouTube.
I know, don't you? I wish I could draw like that. Like, that's just, that's like a skill I would love.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so, she just approached you guys out of the blue, and
I'm not sure how the first one came across. Was it a request, or did she approach us?
Kind of a bit of she just started following me on Instagram, and I was like, hey, who is this person? So I clicked through, and she'd only done a couple of drawings at the time, but I was like, wow, these are really good. So I just sent her my skin and asked her if she could do it, and she was like, sure, and mine is the blue one up there, and it was very kind of her. She just offered it to me, so yeah.
So huge shout out to her there.
Of course, there are parental
Absolutely
concerns
amazing.
as well. Like people, let's just say parents, they're worried about sending in stuff to strangers on the internet because of internet safety. But in a way, if it's a trusted YouTuber, then it's not really any different to sending in a letter or something to the CBBC, their favorite TV program, or anything like that. As long as they are trusted and the thing that's sent in is responsible, then there's not really any harm involved, and there's no worry with sending in these creations.
Have you guys had any problems? I mean, are there any sort of issues that have come up that would be of concern to parents, perhaps?
I guess there is the element of cyberbullying, but that's a case of the child knowing from parental experience. So if the parent sat down and spoke with the child about what is good and what is not good on the internet, then I guess they've got the sense that they can always block. There is always that option to block people. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of all of us here. We've blocked people on Skype, on Facebook, Twitter, everything like that. And you know, it's just a way of life. It's just the same as, you know, not speaking to someone, but it's online.
So my son is passing notes under the table, which I'm quite enjoying.
Drew fan art.
Oh, he's working on his fan art. There you go. I think, I mean, one of the things as a parent that you have to be involved to some extent. I'm very, very lucky in that as an actor and as a filmmaker, I have a lot of free time. And I'm also a nerd too, so I spend a lot of time playing with this stuff, but I think even just a minimal amount of parental involvement and just interest, because you've got the kid, you know, these guys are so interested in this stuff. If you can learn enough to be able to communicate with them about it, and for them to trust you enough that when something, when something does go wrong, they come to you to talk to you about it, that's what you want. You want that trust. I like to think that this kind of a thing, it creates, it makes them good internet citizens, if that makes sense, and allows them to sort of function in the world that we live in now in a way that they can still go to their parents when necessary when there's issues. So, any more things related to that? Yeah. Actually, just talking about the parental side of stuff. I know that you guys have a couple of interesting stories. Squig, you were originally not supposed to be on YouTube, right?
So I started making videos like 2-3 years ago, just for fun, and I just saved them onto my computer. And about a year later, I asked my parents, hey, can I upload these to YouTube? And they said no. So I waited another year or so, and they were still saying no. And I had enough, because they weren't telling me why. They were just saying, no, you can't do this. And they didn't give me a reason for it. They didn't say, oh, it's wrong, or, it's dangerous. So I thought, well, if they're not going to tell me what's bad with it, I'm just going to do it anyway. So,
which is not what you want to hear as a parent, just
yeah.
so you know.
So I think it's much better if your child wants to make YouTube videos or play Minecraft, you should involve with it, because if not, the only reason I put off making videos or putting them on YouTube for so long was because I respected my parents enough to follow what they were telling me not to do. So if you then go and just say, no, you can't do it, then eventually they're going to lose their trust with you, and they're just going to go and do it anyway.
Your parents know you're here now, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, good. Just thought I better check that. I think it's an interesting thing. I mean, I have friends who, the problem with many parents you'll find is that because they're scared of this stuff, because there's a lot to understand, there's a lot to get your head around as a parent. And we're always going to go to the worst case scenario on this stuff. So, now Piper, you're quite young to be into this stuff. How about your folks? What do your parents say about all this stuff?
Well, my parents are kind of fine about it, but I guess some people aren't as lucky to be able to do this freely without any restrictions. When I was about a year ago, I started making face cam videos, and my parents were always fine about it, but then I decided to do Minecraft videos, which are a lot safer, as they don't know your name, they don't really know who you are, they just watch you because maybe they like your videos and they're really fun.
So you went from on camera to just voice work, basically. Do you do any more on camera stuff still?
I only do, if I'm telling people about, this one, I was telling my subscribers about me going to MINECON, and I just did it with my face instead of it being my Minecraft character as normal.
This is the other thing I find interesting as well, is while these guys are working on Jag's Crazy Adventures, putting out a video a day, they also have their own channels that they're also creating content for. So it's the kind of multitasking that is absolutely terrifying to me, basically. So. All right, so next, is there anything else we've talked about the interactivity, we talked about the enjoyment. I guess the question is how does Minecraft and YouTube benefit kids? I mean, what are we getting out of this? What are you guys getting out of this that parents can be sort of happy to hear about, basically?
I gotta find the slide.
Oh, that's all right. Well, I can talk a little bit about one aspect of it while you do that.
I hope you guys can forgive us. We've only had about 2 weeks to prepare this, and it's been sleepless nights for the past 2 weeks, as well as getting ready for MINECON, of course.
That's good. That's what I'm here. I'm here to stall. It's perfect. That's why they threw me at you. I'm here to just basically, I'm like Dance Monkey Dance over here. So while you guys look at that stuff, I think the thing that comes up from my standpoint as a parent, the things that I look for in this stuff is what they call the 20th century skills. And I just read about this the other day, where basically there's a set of skills that the great thinkers of today have decided are necessary for kids growing up in the world. And I'm going to go to the list because I tend to forget them all. There's critical thinking, communications, collaboration, and creativity. And if you ask me, that's like the menu for playing Minecraft and YouTubing. So like these are skills, you can't just learn them. You have to practice them. And I think as parents, what our job is to transfer the skills that these guys are learning in YouTubing and in Minecraft and apply that to the real world. That's where I see the benefit of this stuff happening, is when you can tie, like when I can say to Sebastian, hey, we're at the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto, and there's a box of rocks. We're still on the fan art. There's a box of rocks here, and I'm going to show you that these, like iron ore and lapis lazuli and all these things, they come out of the ground. This stuff really does happen. Seeing that connection happen is just very exciting to me. So, any luck on slides?
So creativity, I'm going to touch on that a little bit. Minecraft is a creative game. It is essentially online Lego, as my parents love to remind me. I'm 16 years old and I'm playing online Lego. What have we done? Thanks, Mum. Anyway.
We're so proud.
They're so happy that I'm not outside socializing, but you know, technically Skype is socializing, but creativity, through a child's mind, that if they can do whatever they want, they'll do it. I mean, if you've got kids, you'll understand that crayons up the walls and like, what else? Talcum powder up the walls. Everything goes up the walls eventually. In Minecraft, there's no capable wrongdoings. You can't be wrong. There is no right and wrong way about playing the game. And it's impossible to be wrong when you're expressing your creativity side in Minecraft. And that's one of the points that Stampy likes to evolve. He likes to create his own inventions and stuff like that. And the children just love to watch it as well. Minecraft servers, if children have ever been online, they're free to do what they want on there, but with the added bonus of they can do it with their friends as well. You know, there's the added side of communication, there's social skills in there, and learning how to interact with new people that they've never met before. And Minecraft is that game that every kid has played once in their life. If not for 2 minutes, then they've played it for God knows how long. But Minecraft is just one of those games that you've got to play, you've got to enjoy it, because however long you're on there, it's seen as a creative opportunity for you to express your minds. And if a child's feeling bad after having a bad day at school, or maybe something like that, then they're free to walk onto this Minecraft server or onto their single-player world and just express what they feel. And then parents, if they wanted to, they could even hop on there as well and maybe try and interact with the child to bring up their mood eventually.
It's interesting you said that the servers are something that's definitely was eye-opening to me, because when I grew up, my video games were a solitary existence. I was a very lonely nerd. And now they are a very social thing. But at the same time, with that social side, there's some been issues. I mean, Sebastian's been on Mineplex and with the chat going, and has been, you've got people saying, come on, let's go Skype together and stuff, and I get a little nervous about that. Sebastian's doing the art revolution beside me here. How do you guys, you guys are basically on your own server, right? So Fraser's handling all the server stuff. And so how do you deal with that side of stuff?
Well,
Security.
of course, chat in-game is also a great form of communication. Let's just say when Jag's recording, we have to mute our microphones so they can hear him. and no one else. So chat is a very vital part, and of course some people can go a bit too far and say some things in chat which you don't want to see. So what we've done to try and counterattack this is install some plugins which can actually filter out this chat, so none of those words can be seen by some of our younger cast members.
Pay no attention to the iron hand beside you.
So those plugins are also on larger servers such as Mineplex and Hypixel. It blocks out those words so other people cannot see them, and essentially protects the younger audiences that can join the server and see the chat. Although there are some servers which do not have plugins like this installed. So a way to counterattack this as well is there is an option in the multiplayer menu where you can simply turn off that chat altogether. Just thought I'd bring that out there in case you do not know.
Which is a great tip. That's a great tip. As a parent, I learned that, and it was great. It just took the edge off it for me. Like if I'm not going to be playing with him, I'll turn off chat when I can.
But of course, sometimes they may want to see the chat just to see, let's just say, what a mini game is saying, because it says in chat who's being killed by another person. So another way you can essentially protect your child from seeing these things is by simply sitting down with them for like 1 or 2 hours, keeping an eye on the chat and just see how the community is. Because there aren't always bad people out there. There's a load of good people. There's just the occasional 1 or 2 which pop up, and oh, there's pigeons. That's lovely.
We are now competing with pigeons and the main stage.
I've lost track now, but
Pigeon.
thank you. I've literally lost track.
No, you're talking about the chats,
I was talking about the chats. You can just sit down with them and simply moderate the chat and see what the community's like. There aren't all bad people. You might find that everyone's friendly on that server, and you can simply keep the chat on. And every now and then someone might say something, and then that's where you go, oh no, you shouldn't be saying that, or you shouldn't be seeing that. That's when you can take action. But simply sitting down with them and just experiencing the game with them and seeing what the community is like can help a lot, especially if you don't want to turn off the chat and they don't want to turn off the chat either, and if the server doesn't have any plugins installed.
I mean, this keeps coming back to the fact that as parents, I think there's a desire to go like, okay, the kid's this will keep the kid busy for a while. I don't have to worry about him. And while there's definitely an element of that, I think unless you have to be aware of what's going on. You have to be aware of the kind of environment these servers are like. And if you're worried about you're worried about that kind of environment, then you just don't allow them onto the multiplayer servers. But I think again, we know there's going to be some stuff is going to show up in the chats that we don't particularly like. Sebastian usually takes great glee in telling me about them later. So again, he allows me he keeps me informed as to what's going on, right? Wait, Baz, have you had any problems on some of the multi-user servers?
Big time. I have people saying, do you want to Skype? And I don't like your videos.
People don't like your videos?
Like, I've heard some people do that, and I whenever I don't text back, I just do ...
Really, what does ... do?
It's just like, I don't know.
That's you thinking?
I am not going to say, I'm not going to talk back to you. And it's like, oh, and then he spelled OH, saying aw.
I see. So he wasn't happy that you weren't talking back to him. But again, I think so one of the things that we've learned, Sebastian and I have learned doing this stuff, is that if someone's causing trouble or someone is out to obviously try to get a response out of you, just ignore them. And again, stupid skill, it was a stupidly obvious skill you would think, but the reality is I took a long time to learn that. The number of flame wars I got into on various different things because someone would start me off on something. Sebastian now at an early age has learned that, when there's just to say yes, has learned at an early age that you just have to you just step away from this stuff. Don't engage. So again, it's more skills of the cyber citizen, basically.
What is important to know, though, as well, is that Minecraft isn't just a game. It is a community. Everyone here is part of this community. And because of Minecraft, we've all been connected together. There are loads of servers out there which connect people. Let's just say Mineplex, for example, that's hit a recent record of 40,000 people at once. That's a huge community. And I know there's some Mineplex people here today. Hands up if you ever played on Mineplex.
We saw them yesterday, and we got made legendary status. Yeah.
Who has played on Mineplex? See, quite a lot of people. This is a community. It's not just a game. And what do we have here? with
Paper, Fraser. We have paper with words on it.
with each new community, there are different people. People can be connected through YouTubers as well, because this is the main part of our panel. People have met each other just because they like a favorite YouTuber. They could approach someone and say, hey, do you like Stampy? Yeah, I like Stampy. And they're friends. They could be friends for life. So that's why some things do pop up, like, oh, add me on Skype. It may be a concern. It is sometimes a concern, but it is mainly a community as well. So that's why some of these things do happen.
Well, it's another reason why parents should get a sense of who your, what your kids are watching, and who your kids are watching, and who they're following. Because you'll find on these servers, you'll get a lot of people come in and pretend to be Stampy or pretend to be Ballistic or Dan TDM and stuff. So, and I think one of the things that, as a parent, that I think if you don't have time to do this stuff, ask your kid to explain it to you. Sit down with your kid or kids and get them to talk you through this stuff, because they'll love teaching it to you. Sebastian loves it when I'm wrong and has things to tell me. And it's just a great way to both bond with the child and also learn what's going on and how you can be a part of this process. So, did you guys have some stuff you want to add about the connections with people around the world?
I just wanted to say something about the fact of keeping your child safe. I mean, obviously on servers and Skype, you can block people and you can have these filters to stop words that shouldn't be said in chat. But then in life, you don't have that. So if someone comes up to you and starts swearing, you can't really do anything about it. You can only tell them to stop, but of course they can ignore this and keep saying horrible things, and then bullying does occur. But that's why I think sometimes Minecraft can be safer, because you have these options to filter out things that really shouldn't be said, and you can stop stuff like this happening, which is a great thing to be able to do. And unfortunately, obviously, we don't have this in real life. So there, I think Minecraft is really helpful with that.
Piper, what's your experience with this stuff?
Well, most servers I go on are very child-friendly, and I don't see much swearing, but people sometimes go around corners and try to do it in separate things to make it come across as horrible. They use type of different words, but I still think that it is more safe than the real world.
It's more safe than the real world?
Yeah.
Well, that's just a really good point, where basically you get to learn about real-world skills in a much more safer, more distanced environment. I think it's a really, really good point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in the real world, you can't block people. That's the only thing I would say. Believe me, I wish you could. But yeah, that's definitely one of the things working against you there. Should we move on to, now these guys have laid out the whole plan for this talk. I want to make sure that we just get to everything that we touched on.
I'd just like to point out, with Minecraft servers, you do have all these plugins, like Fraser said. However, you do need that kind of backup just in case the plugins do fail. Now, personally, I'm a staff on a server, the Enchanted Isle. It's quite a popular server, averaging hundreds of players on at any one point, and there's quite a few mini games in there. Now, we have a crack team of moderators and builders, but the moderators are the people who are the backup. And if you're worried about these plugins failing, then there is always that security net of having another human who is at least 16 years old with like I say, the Enchanted Isle. There's at least a 16-year-old who is watching the chat and is making sure that nobody is breaking the rules. And there are children who are like, hee, let's do this. And they'll put spaces within swear words. Now, we need to pick up on that, admittedly, because it's obviously not allowed and they're trying to bypass the swearing filters. But they will face consequences for doing such actions. And it's something we don't appreciate, because there's other children trying to have fun on these servers. They're trying to have a good time after, like I say, a bad day at school or just trying to unwind. And if they're greeted by a list of swear words on their chat, then it's not very pleasant.
All good points. Look, why don't we go to education in Minecraft? That was the next topic here. Now, this has been this has been, I think, dealt with quite in depth in a number of other panels. But I just wanted to touch on this because while there seems to be a lot of focus on the education side of Minecraft and YouTube, there hasn't been a lot about the family and the parent side of it, because there's lots of tools available to schools and programs and stuff. But as parents, we don't always have as much time to put together the same kind of processes. So, so if you guys could just sort of maybe address the educational potential of this stuff and how you guys see that working.
Well, obviously there's a lot of projects going on through Minecraft, which are including education. There's a load of booths over there, and there's also the block by block project, but that will be mentioned in a different panel, I do believe, so I won't go on to that. But obviously through the use of YouTube as well, kids are learning. There's Stampy's Wonder Quest, where there's always at least 2 or 3 educational points put into his videos. So some kids don't like the concept of them learning, and that's kind of tricky when you're watching a video and the kids are constantly learning. So it's kind of good how they don't really notice, but you know, they might refer back to it, and they might be in class and they might remember, oh hey, I remember how to do that. Oh, I wonder how. And they won't know, but in a way that's sort of good because they're learning without knowing that they're learning.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that in my research before this panel that I discovered was that there were incidents of things like kids who weren't doing very well with reading in school. They were reading 3 to 5 minutes at school and then going home and reading 70 minutes of online content about Minecraft. And I think what we've got here is we've got something that kids and some adults are really excited about. And as a result, they're reading above their level, they're writing above their level. There's also a lot of fan fiction stuff. If you go to a number of these sites, there's a lot of Minecraft-related fan fiction, many of it written by 12, 13-year-olds. So I think it's a great source of inspiration, which I think is pushing kids beyond their usual limits. I'll give one quick anecdote. We had a friend over, and I got a list of things I had to look out from his parents. And by the time I finished that list, I was really quite concerned about having this guy over. And one of the things was he was dyslexic. And we sat down and started playing Minecraft, and we started using the command line and the cheats. And the first thing he said was like, oh, I can't read that, or I can't type that. You do it. And I forgot about the dyslexia thing. And I was like, no, I don't do Sebastian's, you do yours. And it took him a little longer, but he got it right? Yeah, I mean, the fact is that, again, he was so intent on getting this done, on being a part of this process, that he went above and beyond what he would normally do in order to achieve this goal in Minecraft. And to me, that was like, as a parent, that's that moment where you go, oh my God, that's it. That's exactly what I need. That's what I need from this. So, yes, there you go. There's my little take on it. Who else has more on the educational stuff?
Well, a lot of Minecraft blocks can be built into different shapes, which would be linked back to geometry in classes, where you build like maybe even a circle out of the cubic shapes to a bigger scale. You could build a triangle out of these things. And I think it's good for children to learn that they can build these type of shapes, not just cubes. And also mathematics also links back into it, where they make sure they've got the right amount of blocks needed to build a certain build, and they can count how many blocks, how much they need to gather, and yeah.
Well, the blocks thing is interesting because it's a very Montessori approach as well, where you can, because the blocks are color-coded, you can create little sort of matrices of numbers, ones and tens and hundreds and stuff, and explain multiplication. There's lots of different ways of using that stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I think that it's good for children to learn in Minecraft, because if they're playing it anyway, they're learning as well as playing the game themselves, and they can also play with their friends, and then they're learning all together, and I think it's just a good way of learning.
Inspire each other,
yeah.
Fraser. Actually, Fraser, I'm going to jump in on you this one. Fraser is a great example, I think, of the education of Minecraft. Maybe could you just talk them through? You were telling me about how your stage to getting to where you are now, we're running this server.
Okay, so I started off as a moderator on a server which is kind of smaller now. It used to be quite
At what
big.
age?
At 14. And I thought I wanted to take it to the next level, as in making something for the server rather than just doing things for the server. So what I did was I tried taking up modding and looking into the code itself to see how things work. Although I haven't been far with it, I have looked at the code itself and have made some small mods for it. So simply what I made was a joining the server button, like for the main menu. I made a GUI in the pools menu where the players could look at the rules wherever they wanted rather than just going onto the website. They could also see if they were donators, what items they could spawn and what they couldn't spawn. And it just made life easier. And from that, I've actually progressed to actually taking up coding itself. I've taken a computing course because I want to develop my interest in this. And because of Minecraft, I probably wouldn't have got into coding. And it's just so amazing to see what the code can do rather than just seeing it as a game itself. To see how it works is just fascinating. And because of that, I haven't exactly coded for this, but I have created my own server using other people's code, Paradise Realms. And by putting all of this together and making it all into one system, I have managed to make, with the help of another co-owner, a multi-server system where people can play any game they want, from creative to survival to kit PvP, with a bunch of different aesthetic plugins which allow them to have pets and particles. And to have all of this put together because of my knowledge through Minecraft and because of my knowledge over the years and development of it, it's just because of Minecraft itself, I have taken up an interest in like computing itself.
And as a geek parent, that is the most inspiring. I love hearing that, you know, that it's gone from playing a game to building games to working with network computers, programming. This is the future of this stuff. This is the potential of the kids' interest in this stuff. So there you go.
Yep.
Education-wise, any more comments on education?
I wanted to just say something about the geometry and the maths, because obviously some kids find it really difficult, and I personally find maths really boring. But with the use of creating these shapes, they're learning, oh, if they build a square, they can learn, oh, this square has 4 sides, or, oh, look at that angle, it's a right angle. And they can, by sort of creating these shapes, they're taking a subject that they find difficult and tricky and boring, and actually starting to like it, because they think, if I do this at home, I'll know how to do it in the lesson. And I think it's just something that's quite amazing about Minecraft, how it's turned something that everyone hates, or some people hate, into something that they actually quite enjoy.
I'm going to throw one more thing in before we go to the next section. But one of the guys I was talking to today is working with the Tate. And what they're doing is they're taking artwork, like classic artwork, and then creating Minecraft worlds that embody that. And I mean, again, all of a sudden, those paintings on the wall, which I remember being rather dull as a child, take on a whole new life. You know, the idea of a kid walking into the Tate and going like, oh my God, I've played that Minecraft, is just, again, another opportunity to get some teaching in there. But okay, let's move on to, how do you guys do this? You guys are making an episode a day. Take us through the process of creating Jag's crazy adventures.
I mean, I love the effort for the intro there.
Yeah, I can't get the easy part right.
Well, it's damaged my vocal cords, let's just say that, screaming down the microphone daily. But parents think that recording a Minecraft video is just sitting down at a computer, hitting a button, and then just talking. There's a lot more than that than you think. First of all, weeks in advance, we'll think up of a storyline. So we'll sit down. We're constantly in meetings, us four, and then some of the build team, some of the other cast that unfortunately can't be with us today.
Can you walk through, like, just for people who may not understand, like the build team, give us the different departments of what you're doing.
Okay, so we've got lead directors, which is obviously myself. We've got the co-director, which is Fraser. His input is valid as ever. Then we've got the build team, who are the people who obviously build the stuff that we need. So that can range from anything from mazes to structures. And some of the people we've got have worked in big build teams. I believe one of them might have come from Mineplex, I'm not sure, but it's lovely to have them on our team. And then we've got the cast, who are important as well. They get messages about a day before, and then obviously a 10-minute reminder as to when we're filming. And they'll hop on the server when they can. I mean, not everybody can be on at one point. I mean, there has to be a limit. But we do get messages from each of the members in the team. We call them the JCA crew, as it were. It's just easier for us to pronounce it as the JCAC, almost like AC/DC. But anyway, so
Only
that's going on
different.
a little bit.
Except completely different, yes.
Yeah, obviously, we're not into that rock metal stuff. So yeah, we'll sit down, myself and these three, and like I say, some of the other cast and the other builders, and we'll speak about what needs to be built by when and when we're going to be filming this video. And it's generally a fun meeting. There's no like, oh, shut up, be quiet. You know, there's none of that. There's none of the boss type. We're all on the same level, but we do have different ranks so that everybody knows who's. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like.
Who to look up to if you need help, for example.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. So we do have a triangle system, but we try and stay all on the same level. So I'll never consider myself to be any more important than one of the builders, because they are essentially, if I didn't have any builders, I wouldn't have a series. If I didn't have any cast, I wouldn't have a series. So that's basically what happens, about 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, most of the time it's about a month in advance. I say that, but we've got Monday's video, tomorrow's video up, and then that's it. We haven't got any more planned. So we need to get started on that as soon as we get home. So
now you've got nervous and you want to run off and do your video now.
Well, you say run. We're not allowed to run.
You only got 15
here.
minutes. You're good. You'll be fine.
So after all the schedules have been made, we put them into an online calendar, and I have a schedule on my desk at home as to what videos going up when, and obviously I'll mark them off as to when they've been uploaded. And so after that, the sets are designed. We have a separate world. We have the main recording world, which is where everything gets recorded, and we have a separate plot me world in which the build team can create general structures, they can create the mazes, they can create that sort of stuff. And there's been a few occasions where the build team haven't been so reliable. There's been a lot of griefing, and if you don't know what griefing means, then it's kind of destroying with an intent to be mean, as it were. So we've had a few occasions where that's been a case, and we've just got rid of the builder because we don't really need that. We're on tight schedules as it is without this griefer going around.
Sorry, just a logistics question. So you've got one server that you're playing on, and there's another server that's used specifically just for building.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right. Nice.
So when the day comes to film a video, a Skype message is put out. We have 3 Skype group chats. That's how busy we are. We have a main notification group in which myself and Fraser will put JCA build, and only the builders will get that notification, the same with the cast. And we also have a third team, which I've forgotten to announce. We have a writing team. As you can understand, creating daily videos is a struggle, but you know, it's enjoyable. We love to do it, and we love the kids' faces. I mean, we've been walking around here. I mean, within the first 10 seconds of entering Excel yesterday, there was somebody coming up and asking for my autograph, it's nice because I know that I've got at least one kid who's enjoying to watching my videos.
There's at least one kid watching you.
They want, yeah, at least one.
So that's one of the many reasons why people like us and other YouTubers want to do this. They want to do it because of the effects that it can have on other people. It's just fantastic to see the smile on some kid's face who watches the videos and enjoys it. Like, I've got a quote from Stampy. We asked him why he started playing Minecraft and started doing his YouTube videos. And he said, "When I started playing Minecraft, it was because my friends all got the same game and I didn't want to be left out. I decided to record my first time playing and immediately got hooked. 3 years later, and I use Minecraft as a tool to produce videos. I still get the same enjoyment from playing the game, but I don't play it in the normal way that much."
I mean, that's coming from the biggest Minecraft Xbox YouTuber there is, and in all honesty, there's nobody bigger than him. So it's an appreciation to him for giving us that quote directly off Skype.
So thank you, Stampy.
Thank you, Stampy. So
it always comes back to Stampy.
Always links back to Stampy. One of them, one of the 3. But anyway, as I was going on, so notifications go up in the notification group, obviously.
And you're coordinating all this. This is your...
Yeah, this is me and Fraser. We're the ones who point out who's needed and when. That's also where we tell them about what's needed. So the build team will be notified that there's a structure that needs to be built, and that is what will go into the notification group. After that, we all gather around. The filming time is normally set for about an hour in advance so that everybody's got ready to prepare. They're ready to be on the server so that we can film. Normally, we aim for the actors when we're filming to be on 10 minutes before the actual film time so that we're all there and we're all ready to start on that deadline.
Do you have scripts in place by then?
We don't have scripts.
So you give them the idea of what's happening?
We have a main idea, For example, there's been an episode quite a while back, and in the schedule it says Sandstone Temple.
Huh.
And that's all we run by. We'll create a storyline as we go. But
Okay, as
we
an
do-
actor, I hate you already.
Oh, okay.
So the actors have to. But you're winging it basically when you get
Yeah,
in there.
pretty much. There's a lot of ad-libbing involved, so like talking and talking and talking. And 15 minutes of video is hard to keep talking, admittedly. But like I say, before we start, we'll all get together and we'll explain what's going to happen in the video, but we don't necessarily plan out exactly when this is going to happen. It rolls constantly, and there's a lot of editing involved in it. If there's mess ups or something happens and goes wrong, we have to do it again, because there's no point putting out a bad quality video because the children won't enjoy it. And we want to be professionals at this one day, hopefully. We want to be good at what we do, and we'd like to think that we are, but if we put out bad quality videos, then there's no point to it whatsoever.
So Squig, how do you're doing a lot of the acting of this as well, and Piper. You guys, what do you do? Do you think about it in advance, or do you just like wing it? How do you do this?
Well, so it's only Jag that will be talking in the video, just like Stampy. So we all are silent, but we play along and we can hear him, so we can act with him with our characters. But it's just Jag that's doing the audio for it. So we just play along with what he's saying and go along with it. And if he comes up to us and starts, like tapping on us and being, "How are you today, Squig?" We'll just like tap back and we're like, "Yeah, we're fine." So obviously we have to like animate ourselves with our bodies rather than our voices, because you can't hear us in the videos.
Thus the term body actor. Got it.
Yeah.
I finally got that. And do you guys want to do? Do you want to get your voices on there? You guys have your own YouTube channels as well. Is that something you'd like to do?
Yeah, personally, I really like to do YouTube because it's not just really a hobby. It's something that I normally do on my daily basis. Some people see it as a hobby. I see it as my life, really, because when I'm not making videos, I'm either watching them or helping with other people make them, and I just think it's a really good way to just be with your friends and do what you want together, and making the videos makes me feel happy inside and making a good quality. And when people say, "Oh, that's a really good build that you've just built," or "It's a really good video that you've just edited," it makes us feel really good.
The way you guys talk about this reminds me of theater. It's like you don't do that for money. You do that because it's the process is as much fun as the actual final product.
Yeah.
And you guys experience that as well?
Yeah. I think when I first met my friends on the internet, I was quite shy in the Skype calls, but it kind of brought me out of my shell to make me more confident. And I think that being on Minecraft has helped me be a lot more confident in social situations, such as right here, right now.
And it's a lot cheaper than theater school.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's great. Any more you wanted to address on the?
Well, there's only after filming, we obviously thank the actors that are involved, because they're giving up some of their time to be in the videos, which is, they're very, very well trained, I could say. They know not what to do and what to do as well. But after filming, we edit, or should I say I edit, because I'm filming it. I grab music from my partners, not as in partners like these guys, as in musical partners online. And then I edit and I'll upload it, we'll create a thumbnail, and that's it, boom, video done. So there is a lot more to it than just sitting in a basement,
There's a lot of
clicking
time
a button.
management involved as well.
And they're doing that once a day. So again, for me, I was struggling to get the odd video out once in a while with Sebastian. I'm sorry, Ironham. In fact, maybe we should talk to Ironham about his process. When you're doing YouTube videos, what do you like to do when you're doing YouTube videos?
Well, I mostly like when I do the YouTube videos, I try to be as fun as possible, because if you don't really be fun, then what's the point of doing a YouTube video?
Very good point. Spoken like a true producer.
Like, I want to be fun for me, and I want to be fun for other people watching it.
So basically, if you make yourself laugh, you figure you're making other people laugh too.
Yeah, like, some people don't get jokes. even like Dad, when we did, I mean Roddy Rhino, when we built Roddy's Retreat, someone commented, called Roddy's Retreat. When we made Roddy's Retreat, like someone else, like is I guess right now trying to build Roddy's Retreat.
It's true. They probably are. All right. So, any more on the process?
I just wanted to mention.
I think we should think about Q&A. Does anyone other questions out there? Oh, sorry. Yes, you had something else.
Well, I was going to say that.
Thank you.
Well, I think most of us here, we don't make money off these videos. We purely do it for the people watching and because we enjoy it. So it's not like we're making money from it. We're not doing it, oh, we don't actually enjoy it, we're only doing it for the money. It's not like that. Obviously, a lot of people nowadays, big YouTubers, are making money from it. But for us, we don't make anything, or Jag makes a tiny amount. And that just shows that we do care and we're like dedicated to this. If we're not really getting anything but, you know, support, we do it for the enjoyment rather than making money.
Well, and that's, look, as an actor and as a filmmaker, that's how I got into it. I started doing it for free, and that's the process. Is you learn how to do this stuff. Like, you're learning the management skills, the directing skills, technical skills, acting skills. All those things will help you later on, and you get good at it, and you learn all of the techniques required for this stuff, and then when you get into the professional world, you're just that much further ahead of everyone else. So I think it's, you know, I'm my hat's off to you. I think you guys are amazing at what you do. So yeah, especially as you say, you're not getting paid for it. So Q&A. We figured we'd ask some questions. Does anyone have any questions to ask? If not, we've got lots to talk about. Yes. Here, we don't have a mic here. I'll tell you what. I'll come.
I've never seen a rhino run that fast.
No running.
How did you guys like get together, like as a group?
Oh, this is a funny story. Me and
It's based on lies.
Yeah, we actually met because of a lie. There was this event called MINECON Server Edition, recently rebranded to Cubed, and we met through there. We went onto their TeamSpeak server where we could talk to each other, and Jag said to me that he'd seen me before and he wanted to go into this other chat room with me so we could talk about where he's actually seen me. And we talked for a bit, and it turns out that he actually lied to me. He'd never seen me before. He just wanted to talk to me, because why not? And that's how we met. We've been friends ever since, and yeah, that's that, really.
Oh, that just warms a parent's heart, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then we met Piper and Squig through Jag, who was working for an event, Nevermind, and they were building for that event for their, I think it's the event server. And yeah, they met him through there, and that's how we became friends.
More questions? Anybody? Yeah. Oh, questions everywhere. Let's go this side.
Thank you. My daughter would very much like to to make Minecraft videos and post them on YouTube. But I'm kind of reluctant because I've used YouTube myself, and I've seen a lot of the, I've seen some really nasty comments. And obviously you can block people, after the fact, but, you've still seen what it is that people have said, and, that can hurt. So I'm wondering if there's, is there anything that can be done about that? Is there any way to fight that fear of mine, really?
Well, I'm not sure about this, to be honest. There may be some plugins for your internet browser which can simply filter out words altogether and just replace them with something completely different, or just get rid of them. There isn't actually a definite way to completely remove the comments without clicking on the button and removing it. YouTube does have a feature where you can, however, filter out some words if there isn't a web browser plugin. So if you want to enter some words that you don't want to see, then YouTube will automatically pick them up as those words that you didn't want to see. It will request if you want to view them. Of course, you don't need to view them, but it will filter them out from everyone else from seeing, and yeah, as well as you.
It's one of the biggest issues. I mean, you can turn off, you can disable comments though, can you not?
Yeah, you can turn off your comments altogether, but of course that then prevents people who actually want to submit creative comments to you. That prevents them from submitting it, and that can be, in a way, harmful, as that does not encourage interaction between the creator and the watcher.
Well, I think the key there is going to be, discussing with your daughter, and when things come up that are bothering her in some way, or that she's worried about, as long as she lets you know. I mean, that's the key. And it's just, what was that?
I'll keep an eye on it. Sorry. I was saying I'll keep an eye on, anything she posts as well. Obviously, I'll read the comments. So, yeah, I think we'll be good.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, we've had a great experience with it. We definitely do get some. You do get some negative comments. You always do. There's always haters out there. But again, in a way, I almost feel like that's part of the process. That's part of the learning process. Is learning that some people are not gonna like this stuff. Some people are gonna say horrible things, and you have to learn how are you gonna deal with that? How do you become sort of resilient to that kind of stuff as well? So I think there's a certain skill there as well.
I think we have enough time for one more question, and then
Is that it?
we're out
One
of
more
time.
question.
Just
okay.
one.
I think the man never argue with a man with a sword.
Okay, so I've tried to do something like what you do with my friends, but the problem is, though, is if I don't have a script, it'll be way too short. If I do have a script, I'll mess up loads. How do you improvise?
A good question.
Oh, wow. What a question. Improvisation is what makes Jag's Crazy Adventures, and you just have to think off the top of your head, and if something springs to mind and it's relevant, say it. That's all the advice I'd give to you. Like I say, Jag's Crazy Adventures is based off of improvisation and ad-libbing and saying, sometimes it's saying the same thing twice, but in a different way, and that's what, if it sounds okay, it's usually okay. So I just say ad-lib you and also just improvise.
And don't be afraid to mess up. That's the big thing, is make mistakes. This is all about people. This is about people watching you get better at what you do. People will be more engaged with your stuff if they see you starting here and getting better and better and better. And they can go, oh, I remember him when he was just starting out. And the other thing about, I mean, like comedy. Comedy is all about, with ad-libbing comedy stuff, it's about failing. It's about people going like, oh, that doesn't work. Then you go next show, you get it better, you know? So it's, learn from the failures. Don't be scared by it. Don't wait for it to be brilliant before you do it, because you'll never do it. Get it right. Just start. Just do it. Do it now. What are you standing here? Go, get out of here. I think that's it for time, right? We're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Thank you all very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
Jags,
you.
If you do want to watch Jag's Crazy Adventures, just simply search it on YouTube. If you want to see our channels as well, we're also in the sidebar. So yeah, just throwing that plug out there, because why not?
I think we'll be waiting around just over to the left-hand side of the stage if anyone wants their question answered, because unfortunately we did run out of time. And we're going to be signing a few things if you're interested. We've got some merchandise to give away for free. So
Thanks for coming, mainly.
thank you
Yeah,
all.
thank you
yes.
so
And
much.
thank you, MINECON.
Thank you for coming.
Woo!